Shalom. Kol Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. I just wanted to make a video going more into salvation. Of course, when you initially think about it, what comes to mind is being delivered from the missiles. And that is a huge part of salvation because no one on earth has been saved. Just because you've been baptized and declare that you believe in the Lord, even if you have the right names, doesn't mean that you're saved. No one on earth has been delivered from this upcoming destruction. And that is what it means to receive salvation. However, that's not it. Salvation doesn't end there. And so also what we're striving for, looking forward to, is being delivered from these bodies that we're in right now. Being delivered from death. Remember, the scriptures talk about, it says, sin when it is finished, it brings forth death. So we're trying not to sin anymore. We're trying to overcome death. We're trying to be in new bodies where we don't have to worry about those things. So that's also what it means to receive salvation. Being delivered through the missiles or from the missiles, and also being delivered from these bodies that we're in right now. And so to talk about that point, I'm going to start here in the book of Ezekiel 36, verse 24. It says, "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land." And that's what we're looking forward to, like I mentioned. That's going to be by way of chariots. It's not going to be by us hopping in a boat or some big old ship and then us pushing our way over there to the Holy Land. That's not the case, as some false teachers are teaching. It's going to be by Yahushua returning in the midst of World War III and delivering the elect by way of chariots. That's when these bodies will be changed. It says, "Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you." And that process is starting right now by way of the Holy Spirit, by way of us being washed by the words of these scriptures. Now that we have the true understanding, we're not calling on previous idols that we thought was actually the name of the Most High and His only begotten Son. We're not declaring that we're in these different false religions and believing in these different doctrines. We're doing our best to keep the laws. We ask for continued faith in the Lord, and we do our best to do His will. Right? So we're being cleansed right now. It says, "A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh." Now, this is the point right here in verse 26. But what I want to do is read this in the NLT just to make it a little bit more clear. So it says, "And I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you." Now, this is going into basically the new covenant, where the Lord is going to put His laws, statutes, and commandments inside of us. Right? But that's the next verse. But it says, "I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart." And when it says heart, it's referring to our mind, right? That's the analogy, just an analogy. But it's talking about our minds here. Now, remember when you were growing up and your mother or your father, when they tell you something and over and over again, eventually they would just say, "You got a hard head." Or what'd they say? Oh yeah, that's it. You're hard-headed. That's it right there. You're hard-headed because you're stubborn. They have to continuously tell you something over and over and over again. And that's what the Lord is saying right here. I would take out your stony, stubborn heart. Because right now, majority of our people are hard-headed. They don't get it. They're just not listening and they're disobedient. And then it goes on to say, "And give you a tender, responsive heart." So that tender, responsive heart is talking about an obedient mind, a mind that's receptive, a mind that actually listens. And how is He going to do that? by putting the laws, statutes, and commandments inside of our minds. And we're going to just naturally be obedient. We'll just walk in the Lord's ways and know exactly what his will is. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have a personality and that we're going to be robots walking around. No, it just means that we're going to know exactly what the Lord's will is. We're going to know all the laws. We're not going to have to open up a book and figure out what to do concerning a situation. We're not going to have to open up a book and figure out, all right, what day is it, and what high holy day is coming up. What do we have to do for it? How do we prepare? We're not going to have to do any of those things. It's just going to be inside of us. We're going to walk in the ways of the Lord. Now, going back to the King James for the last verse 27. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. So that's basically what I just summed up. I jumped the gun, but that's the new covenant right there. So we're not going to read the new covenant. You can do that in the book of Hebrews chapter 8, and you can start reading at verse 6 if you want. That's what it's going into, though. Right? And so this right here is also, it also represents salvation. Us not only being delivered from the missiles, but at the same time, when we are delivered, then now our bodies are being changed. Our minds are being changed. We're basically being upgraded, right? And I want to show you that also in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15. And we're going to start at verse 50. Check out that subtitle. It says, The Mystery of Resurrection. Sure, in a way. Yeah. Verse 50 says, Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. So when it says flesh and blood, and then also that word corruption, that phrase and that word, flesh and blood and corruption, it represents the current bodies that we're in right now. And it says it cannot inherit incorruption. Incorruption represents that upgraded body that we're talking about. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. So we're not all going to die, not all of the elect. You are going to have certain elected members where it is their lot to be a martyr, and they're going to be the first ones that come back in chariots with the Lord Yahushua. But it's saying not all of us are going to sleep or die, but we shall all be changed. And this is exactly why we're going to jump over right here really quickly in the book of Romans chapter 11, verse 26. This is why it says, And so all Israel shall be saved. Because all of the Israelites, not just the elect, because the elect are going to be changed, right? That's what we're reading about. It's going to happen quickly just like that when the elect are captured up inside of those chariots. But even eventually, even the 2/3, when they are destroyed, when they die on this side and come back in the kingdom through the elect, they're going to be saved as well, because they're going to have those new bodies, those upgraded bodies. So it says, And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, There shall come out of Sion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So all Israel will eventually be saved by us being upgraded, by our bodies being changed and overcoming death. So let's read this once again. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Check it out. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption. So this current body must put on a body that's not corruptible, one that can't be damaged, one that's not susceptible to be destroyed. For this corruption must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Victory, because we've overcome. That's what it means to be saved. That's salvation right here. It's not just being delivered from the missiles. It's also being delivered from these bodies that we're in, these bodies of sin. Chains of, chains of darkness is what the Bible also calls these bodies that we're in right now. And we're fighting it. We're battling the flesh every single day. It's a constant battle, 24/7. You're not going to always win, right? But majority of the time you do. And that's what the Lord wants to see. He just wants you to see you strive for the truth. Unto death, it says, and then he'll fight for you. He'll do the rest. I'm going to grab one more precept just to make the point. And then we'll end off with this, Lord's will. So, what is it? Oh, yeah. 1 John 3, one of my favorite verses. Start at verse 1. It says, behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, Yahushai, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. So we're doing our best to be holy, to be separate from this world, because we know that the Most High Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahushai, is pure and holy and separate from this world. Why are we doing that? Because we have the hope of being changed and being like Yahushai. Just like it says in verse 2, the world may not know who we are. They may not know what we're going to be changed to, but we know it. When Yahushai appears, we're going to be like him, it says. Right now, he's perfect. Everything about him is perfect. His mind, his body, his spirit, right? Even when he came down in the likeness of sinful flesh, he came down in these bodies, he was still perfect in mind and spirit, right? But now he's in the heavens on the right hand of the Most High Yahweh, and he has that incorruptible body now. That body that's not susceptible to any kind of damage, completely, purely mortal. Or immortal, I'm sorry. Completely, purely immortal. And that's the body that we're looking forward to. No more death and no more sinning, because the Lord is going to put his laws, statutes, and commandments in us. It starts with that. It starts with the new covenant that we briefly read in Ezekiel 36. So salvation is not just being delivered from the missiles. It's also being delivered from these bodies of sin. Lord's will, this was edifying to the elect. Kol Haloyim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.